The message from the Valari Collective arrived on a Tuesday morning. It appeared simultaneously on every screen across Earth. The aliens spoke perfect English, their voice deep and emotionless. People of Earth, you have 7 days to surrender your planet and resources to the Valari Collective. Resistance is futile. We have conquered 17 civilizations more advanced than yours. Our armada consists of 300 warships that will arrive at the edge of your solar system in exactly 7 days. Prepare for our arrival. In the Pentagon's main conference room, 20 high-ranking military officers and government officials sat in stunned silence. The blue walls seemed to close in as they watched the message replay on the large screen. General Scott Newman was the first to speak. So we have a week before they arrive. What are our options? A thin man with gray hair stood up. Admiral Frank Miller had commanded Earth's space fleet for 15 years. His wrinkled face showed the weight of this moment. Based on the probe data we received last month, each Valari ship carries weapons that could destroy our largest vessels in seconds. If we gather every military spacecraft we have, we might destroy 5 of their ships before they wipe us out. The HFY room fell silent again. A woman in a navy blue uniform cleared her throat. What about the Defiant project? All eyes turned to her. Admiral Miller nodded slowly. Captain Lisa Warren raises our only real option, the USS Defiant. He pressed a button on the table, and an image appeared on screen. It showed a sleek ship, unlike any other in Earth's fleet. It was smaller than standard military vessels, but had a distinctive hull made of dark material that seemed to absorb light. 10 years ago, we recovered a damaged Valari scout ship. We've been reverse engineering their technology ever since. The Defiant is the result. It's not fully tested, but it's our only chance. 1 ship against 300? The Secretary of Defense looked skeptical. That's suicide. Lisa Warren stood straighter. The Defiant isn't just any ship, sir. It has adaptive shield technology that can analyze enemy weapons and adjust to defend against them. We've also developed a virus that might disrupt their systems. Might? Someone asked. It's all theoretical, Admiral Miller admitted. But we have no other options. We can't win a direct battle. The president, who had been quietly listening, finally spoke. What exactly are you proposing, Admiral? We send 1 ship, the Defiant, to meet their fleet. They'll expect us to either surrender or send everything we have. They won't expect a single vessel. That gives us the element of surprise. After hours of debate, the decision was made. The Defiant would launch the next morning with Captain Lisa Warren in command. Lisa spent that night in her apartment, looking at the stars through her window. At 42, she had never married. The space program had been her life. Now the fate of humanity rested on her shoulders. Her phone rang. It was Admiral Miller. I've finalized your crew, he said. The best we have. The next morning, Lisa arrived at the secret underground launch facility in Nevada. The massive doors slid open to reveal the Defiant in all its glory. Unlike the bright white of standard space vessels, this ship was dark gray with blue accents. It was relatively small, about 300 feet long, but packed with experimental technology. Lisa met her crew near the boarding ramp. Lieutenant Noah Garcia was a weapons specialist. At 34, he had a reputation for understanding alien technology better than anyone else. His dark eyes studied the ship with intense focus. Captain, he said, shaking her hand, I've been working with the weapons systems for months. They're unlike anything we've ever had. Dr. Patricia Bell approached next. The xenobiologist had spent years studying the Valari from the limited samples recovered from the scout ship. Her blonde hair was pulled back in a tight bun. The Valari have never faced resistance, she said. Their psychology suggests they don't handle surprises well. Commander Sam Evans was already inspecting the ship's exterior. The engineer had helped develop many of the prototype systems. His hands were always in motion as if he couldn't wait to get to work. The adaptive shields are ready, he said. In theory, they'll get stronger with every hit they take. Lieutenant Kate Morris was the last to arrive. The navigation expert had a quiet confidence about her. She could plot courses and execute maneuvers that few others could manage. The drive system is unique, she explained. We can change direction instantly without losing speed. The Volari ships are bigger and can't match our agility. Lisa looked at her team. 5 people against an alien armada. It seemed impossible, yet there was determination in every face. The launch countdown began at noon. As the massive engines powered up, Admiral Miller's voice came through the communication system. Captain Warren, I wish we had more time to test the Defiant. I wish we had a fleet to send with you. But sometimes history turns on the actions of a few brave individuals. You have 6 days to reach the rendezvous point at the edge of our solar system. The fate of our species rests with you 5. Lisa sat in the captain's chair, feeling its unfamiliar contours. We won't let you down, Admiral. The ship lifted smoothly, accelerating faster than any Earth vessel had moved before. The blue sky darkened to black as they left the atmosphere. Lisa addressed her crew once they were safely in space. The Volari expect us to arrive with a fleet or not at all. They've conquered 17 other civilizations, all of which either surrendered or tried to fight force with force. They've never encountered humans before. She stood and looked at each crew member. We have 6 days to master this ship's systems. When we meet the Volari, they will expect fear or foolish bravery. Instead, we'll show them something they've never seen before. Noah nodded. What's that, Captain? Lisa smiled slightly. Human ingenuity. Now, to your stations. We have work to do. The Defiant accelerated toward the edge of the solar system, a lone ship carrying humanity's last hope. The Defiant moved through space faster than any human ship before it. The crew had 5 days left to prepare for their meeting with the Volari fleet. Captain Lisa Warren watched her crew work with a mixture of pride and worry. They were the best Earth had to offer, but they were still only 5 people against an alien armada. On the bridge, Lieutenant Kate Morris frowned at her navigation screen. The young woman's fingers flew across the control panel as she adjusted their course. Captain, I'm detecting unusual energy patterns, she said. I think the Volari might be tracking us. Lisa moved to stand behind her. Are you sure? The readings match what we know about their scanning technology. They know we're coming. Lisa thought for a moment. Let them watch. We won't change course. Noah Garcia looked up from the weapons station. Shouldn't we try to hide? Maybe use the asteroid belt for cover? No, Lisa said firmly. The Volari expect us to behave like prey, either running or bringing a massive fleet. We'll do neither. She called the crew together in the ship's small meeting room. Maps of their course and diagrams of the Volari fleet filled the screens on the wall. Kate has confirmed the Volari are tracking us, Lisa explained. They know we're coming, but they don't know what we're planning. We have an advantage they can't understand. What advantage? Sam Evans asked, his engineer's mind always looking for concrete solutions. They've conquered 17 civilizations, Dr. Patricia Bell answered before Lisa could speak. Each time, those civilizations either surrendered or tried to fight with their entire fleet. The Volari expect the same from us. Exactly, Lisa nodded. They can't imagine a species would send just one ship unless it was to surrender. That's our psychological advantage. Noah cleared his throat. Psychological advantages won't help if the weapons don't work. Then let's make sure they work, Lisa said. You have 3 days to master the weapon systems. Sam, help Noah when you're not working on the shields. Kate, plot 15 different evasive patterns. Patricia, I want to know every weakness the Volari might have. The next 3 days were intense. The crew worked in shifts, sleeping only when absolutely necessary. The experimental technology was challenging. The weapon system crashed twice, the shields fluctuated, the engine overheated once. In the weapons room, Noah fired test blasts into empty space, adjusting the settings each time. The special cannon was designed to deliver not just energy damage, but also carry the virus that Sam had helped develop. The targeting system isn't aligning properly, Noah said in frustration after another failed test. Sam moved to help him. The problem is in the connection between the alien tech and our systems. They speak different languages. Together, they worked through the night, creating a new interface that would allow the human and alien technologies to work together. In her quarters, Dr. Bell studied the Valari biological samples they had. The aliens had a unique nervous system that might be vulnerable to certain electromagnetic frequencies. "Captain," she called over the communication system, "I think I found something. The Valari neural pathways are highly sensitive to a specific frequency. If we can generate that frequency, we might be able to disrupt their ability to fight," Lisa finished. "Work with Noah to see if we can incorporate that into our weapons." On the bridge, Kate ran simulation after simulation, testing the ship's maneuverability. The Defiant could change direction instantly, something no other human ship could do. This ability came from the reverse-engineered Valari technology. "The Valari ships are bigger," she explained to Lisa. "They can't turn as quickly as we can. If we get in close enough, we can outmaneuver them." Lisa nodded, making notes on her tablet. "Show me the patterns again." By the 5th day, they had made progress. The weapon system now worked reliably. The shields were stable. The engine was running at optimal efficiency. They had one more day before reaching the rendezvous point. That night, Lisa couldn't sleep. She went to the observation deck and looked out at the stars. In 24 hours, they would face the Valari fleet. She thought about Earth, about the billions of people depending on them. The weight of responsibility pressed down on her shoulders. The door opened behind her. Dr. Bell walked in, also unable to sleep. "Do you think we have a chance?" Patricia asked quietly. Lisa considered the question. "We have to believe we do. Otherwise, why are we here?" "I've been studying the Valari for years," Patricia said. "They've never lost a battle. They've never had to compromise. They've never faced humans before." Lisa smiled slightly. "That's their weakness. They don't know what we're capable of." The next morning, the final preparations began. The crew checked and rechecked all systems. They ran through the battle plan one last time. "The virus needs to hit their flagship first," Sam explained. "Once it's in their system, it should spread to the other ships through their communication network." Noah nodded. "The first shot is crucial. I'll target their main communication array. After that, we need to survive long enough for the virus to work," Lisa said. "The adaptive shields are our best protection. They'll learn from each, attack and grow stronger." Kate studied the navigational data. "The Valari fleet is arranged in a standard formation. If we approach from this vector, we can target the flagship while keeping the maximum distance from their biggest weapons." Lisa looked at her crew. They were ready. They had to be. "In 12 hours, we will face the most powerful fleet in known space," she said. "We represent every human on Earth. We carry their hopes and dreams with us." As they approached the final hours, Lisa recorded a message in her personal log. "This is Captain Lisa Warren of the USS Defiant. We are about to engage the Valari fleet. If we fail, this may be the last record of human resistance. But I believe we will succeed. Humanity has always accomplished the impossible when backed into a corner. Today, we either make history or become a footnote in someone else's." She closed the log and returned to the bridge. The ship's sensors detected the Valari fleet waiting at the edge of the solar system. 300 warships arranged in perfect formation. The Defiant approached alone, a single ship against an armada. "Stations," Lisa ordered. "Let's show them what one human ship can do." The Defiant dropped out of hyperspace at the edge of the solar system. Through the main viewport, the crew saw the Valari fleet for the first time. 300 massive ships formed a perfect half-circle. Each alien vessel was at least 20 times larger than the Defiant. Their dark purple hulls seemed to absorb the light from nearby stars. Captain Lisa Warren took a deep breath. The moment had arrived. Earth's fate would be decided here. "Shields at maximum," she ordered. "Weapons ready, but do not fire yet." Lieutenant Noah Garcia's fingers hovered over the weapons console. "Weapons hot, Captain. Virus payload ready." Commander Sam Evans monitored the shield systems. Adaptive shields at full power. They're ready to learn. The largest Valari ship moved forward from the formation. It was enormous, easily 30 times the size of the Defiant. Its hull bristled with weapon ports. "They're scanning us," Kate Morris reported from the navigation station. "They've detected our approach." A signal came through on their communication system. Lisa nodded to Patricia, who opened the channel. A holographic image appeared in the center of the bridge. It showed a tall, thin alien with gray-blue skin and 4 eyes arranged vertically on its face. It wore an ornate uniform covered in symbols. "Humans," the alien said, its voice deep and cold. "You send a single ship to meet our armada? Is this your surrender vessel?" Lisa stood tall. "This is Captain Lisa Warren of the USS Defiant. I request to speak with the commander of your fleet." The alien seemed surprised by this response. After a moment of silence, it replied, "I am Admiral Zakatharan of the Valari Collective. Your request is granted, though unnecessary. Your planet's time has come." "Admiral," Lisa said calmly, "we come not to surrender, but to provide a demonstration." All 4 of the aliens' eyes blinked, and what Patricia had told them was a sign of confusion. "Demonstration? Explain." "You've conquered 17 other civilizations," Lisa continued, "but you've never fought humans before. Allow us to introduce ourselves." Before the alien could respond, Lisa gave Noah a subtle nod. He pressed a sequence of buttons on his console. The Defiant's main cannon fired a seemingly harmless pulse of energy directly at the flagship's communication array. The alien commander laughed, a strange clicking sound. "Your weapon did nothing. Is this your demonstration?" "Pathetic," Patricia whispered to Lisa. "The virus is transmitting. They don't realize what's happening." Lisa addressed the alien again. "Admiral Zakatharan, humans have learned through our history that sometimes the best weapon isn't the most destructive. Sometimes it's the smartest." The alien's expression changed as reports clearly came in from elsewhere on his ship. "What have you done?" he demanded. "We've introduced ourselves," Lisa replied simply. "Humans don't always fight with brute force. Sometimes we use our minds." Admiral Zakatharan's image flickered and disappeared. The communication was cut. "Virus successfully deployed," Sam confirmed, checking his readings. "It's spreading through their network." Noah looked up from his console. "Captain, they're charging weapons, all ships." Lisa sat in her command chair. "This is it. Kate, prepare evasion pattern Alpha. Sam, the shields will need to learn quickly." The space around them lit up as hundreds of energy beams shot from the Valari ships. The Defiant rocked violently as the first hits struck their shields. "Shields, holding at 82%, Sam reported. The adaptive technology is working. They're analyzing the weapon signatures." Kate executed a series of impossible maneuvers, making the ship twist and turn in ways no conventional vessel could manage. Many of the Valari shots missed completely. "The flagship is having trouble with its targeting systems," Noah reported with a smile. "The virus is working." Another volley hit them. The ship shook again, but less violently this time. "Shields at 75%, but they're adapting," Sam said excitedly. The second hits from the same weapon type did less damage. Lisa studied the tactical display. "Noah, target the nearest support vessel. Let's see if they've all been infected." Noah fired the Defiant's weapons at a smaller Valari ship. The energy beam struck its hull, causing visible damage. "Their shields are weakening," Noah confirmed. "The virus is spreading to their defense systems." The battle continued for another 20 minutes. With each passing moment, the Defiant's shields grew stronger as they adapted to the Valari weapons. Meanwhile, more and more alien ships showed signs of systems failure. "The virus is spreading faster than we anticipated," Sam reported. "Nearly 40% of their fleet is experiencing major system failures." But the Valari weren't giving up. A new, more powerful barrage of weapons fire struck the Defiant from multiple directions at once. The ship lurched violently, and several control panels sparked. "Shields down to 40%, Sam called out. "That was a coordinated attack using different weapon types. The shields haven't adapted to that combination yet." Lisa gripped the arms of her chair. "Kate, get us behind the disabled ships. Use them as cover." Kate skillfully maneuvered the ship through the maze of Valari vessels. Some of the alien ships were now completely dark. their systems fully compromised by the virus. Admiral Zektharin is trying to re-establish communication, Patricia reported suddenly. Should I put him through? Lisa nodded. The alien's image appeared, again, but now it was flickering and distorted. What is happening? Zektharin demanded. No single ship has ever withstood our fleet. No technology has ever infiltrated our systems. As I said, Admiral, you've never fought humans before. Lisa replied calmly despite the chaos around her. We study our enemies, we adapt. We find weaknesses and exploit them. This is impossible, the alien insisted. One ship cannot defeat 300. A massive explosion rocked their viewport as one of the Valari ships self-destructed, its core destabilized by the virus. Your fleet is falling apart, Admiral, Lisa said. Your ships can't coordinate their attacks anymore, and our shields grow stronger with every hit we take. The alien commander's 4 eyes narrowed. This isn't over, human. We still have numerical superiority. The communication cut off again. Immediately, the remaining functional Valari ships began to move into a new formation. They're surrounding us, Kate warned, cutting off escape routes. Lisa studied the tactical display. The Valari still had over 200 functioning ships even if their systems were compromised. The Defiant couldn't fight them all. Noah, what's our status on the special electromagnetic pulse Dr. Bell identified? Lisa asked. Ready, Captain. But we'll need to get closer to their flagship for maximum effect. Lisa made her decision. Kate, plot a course directly for the flagship. Sam, divert all available power to the forward shields. Noah, prepare the pulse. Captain, Kate said hesitantly. That's right through the heart of their formation. Lisa's expression was determined. Sometimes the only way out is through. They expect us to retreat or keep our distance. Let's do the opposite. The Defiant turned sharply and accelerated toward the massive Valari flagship at the center of the formation. The human ship was tiny compared to the giant alien vessel it was charging. All hands brace for impact, Lisa ordered. We're going in. The Defiant shot forward like a bullet toward the massive Valari flagship. Alarms blared throughout the small human ship as enemy weapons fire struck from all directions. The crew held tight to their stations as the ship shook violently. Shields at 35% and falling, Sam reported, his voice steady despite the chaos. The adaptive technology is working, but there are too many different weapon types hitting us at once. Captain Lisa Warren watched the flagship grow larger on the view screen. What looked like thousands of weapon ports covered its surface. Their plan seemed impossible, but they had no choice. Kate, adjust course by 3 degrees. Aim for the communication array we hit with the virus, Lisa ordered. Lieutenant Kate Morris made the adjustment with precise movements. Course adjusted, Captain. Impact in 40 seconds. Noah's hands flew across the weapons console. Electromagnetic. Pulse charged and ready. We'll need to be within 500 meters for maximum effect. Patricia studied her readings of the Valari biorhythms. The pulse should disrupt their neural patterns for approximately 3 minutes. It won't kill them, but it should incapacitate them temporarily. 500 meters is too close, Sam warned. Their point defense weapons will tear us apart before we get there. Lisa nodded. That's why we need a distraction. Fire all conventional weapons at their engine section. Noah complied immediately. The Defiant's weapons blazed, striking the flagship's massive engines. The hits seemed tiny against the enormous ship, but they drew attention. They're redirecting defenses to protect their engines, Noah confirmed. Lisa leaned forward in her chair. Kate, full speed. Get us to that communication array. The Defiant accelerated to maximum speed, hurtling toward the flagship like a dart. Smaller Valari ships tried to intercept but couldn't match the human ship's agility. Kate expertly weaved between them, executing maneuvers that would have torn apart any conventional vessel. 300 meters, Sam counted down. Shields at 18%. The communication array loomed ahead, a massive structure on the side of the flagship. It was already damaged from their virus attack, with visible electrical discharges flickering across its surface. 200 meters, Sam continued. Shields at 12%. A barrage of defensive fire from the flagship struck them directly. The ship rocked violently, and a console at the back of the bridge exploded in a shower of sparks. Shields at 5%. Sam shouted over the noise. They're about to fail. 100 meters, Kate reported, ready for the pulse. Lisa took a deep breath. Noah, fire the pulse now. Noah pressed the firing sequence. The Defiant released a concentrated burst of electromagnetic energy directly at the flagship's communication array. For a brief moment, nothing happened. Then the entire array lit up with blue-white energy. The pulse spread across the flagship's hull like ripples in water. Direct hit, Noah exclaimed. The pulse is transmitting through their systems. Inside the Volari ships, the alien crew began to collapse. The pulse matched the exact frequency that disrupted their neural systems, just as Patricia had predicted. It's working, Patricia confirmed, checking her readings. Volari life signs are showing neural disruption across the flagship. Kate, get us out of here, Lisa ordered. Maximum speed, any direction away from the fleet. The Defiant spun around and shot away from the flagship. Behind them, the massive Volari vessel drifted, its weapons silent and its engines dark. The virus combined with the pulse has completely shut down their flagship, Sam reported with amazement in his voice. On the tactical display, they could see confusion spreading through the Volari fleet. Without commands from the flagship, the alien ships began to break formation. Some fired weapons randomly, others drifted out of position. They rely too heavily on centralized command, Patricia observed. Without the flagship coordinating them, they don't know what to do. Lisa watched the display carefully. Let's use this confusion. Noah, target the nearest 5 ships with conventional weapons. Sam, do we have enough power for a second pulse? Sam checked his readings. Barely, Captain, but our shields are almost gone. We can't take much more fire. Lisa made her decision. We'll use the remaining shield power to charge a second pulse. Target their second largest ship. Kate plotted a course toward the new target using the disabled ships as cover. The Defiant slipped through the chaos of the Volari fleet like a shark, through a school of confused fish. The second largest Volari ship, seeing the Defiant approach, opened fire with everything it had. Most shots missed due to the virus affecting its targeting systems, but one powerful beam struck the human ship directly. Alarms blared as the last of their shields failed. The bridge shook so violently that Patricia was thrown from her station. Shields down, Sam shouted. Hull breach on deck 3, emergency force field holding. Lisa helped Patricia back to her station. Noah, how close do we need to be for the second pulse? With our weakened systems, no more than 300 meters, he replied. Taking evasive action, Kate called out as more enemy fire came their way. She rolled the ship to avoid the worst of it, but the Defiant still took hits to its hull. 2 minutes to intercept with the secondary command ship, Kate reported. Lisa opened a ship-wide channel. All hands, secure for possible impact. This is our final approach. The Defiant continued its charge toward the second Volari command ship. Its hull was now scored with burn marks from enemy weapons. Small fires had broken out in several sections. But still, the human ship pressed forward. 350 meters, Noah counted down. Another hit rocked the ship. A support beam collapsed on the bridge, narrowly missing Sam's station. 300 meters, Noah called out. Firing second pulse. The Defiant released its second, electromagnetic pulse. Like the first, it struck its target and spread across the Volari ship's hull. Within seconds, the massive vessel went dark. Direct hit, Noah shouted triumphantly. But their victory was short-lived. With their shields gone and their weapons nearly depleted, the Defiant was now terribly vulnerable. 3 Volari ships that still had functioning weapons turned to attack. Evasive maneuvers, Lisa ordered. Kate tried to turn the ship, but the controls responded sluggishly. Engine power dropping, Captain. That last pulse drained almost everything we had. The enemy ships closed in. It seemed the Defiant's miraculous run was about to end. Then, unexpectedly, the tactical display showed the Volari ships turning away. They're retreating, Sam said in disbelief. On the main view screen, they watched as the Volari fleet began to scatter. Some ships engaged their faster-than-light drives and disappeared. Others simply turned and fled at sublight speeds. They're running away, Noah said softly. We did it. Lisa couldn't believe what she was seeing. The mighty Valari fleet, which had conquered 17 civilizations, was retreating from a single human ship. "Patricia, any communication from the Valari?" Lisa asked. Patricia checked her console. "Yes, Captain, we're receiving a signal from a small vessel leaving the flagship. It appears to be Admiral Zakatharan's escape craft." "Put him through," Lisa ordered. The alien admiral appeared on screen. His usually perfect posture was gone, and 2 of his 4 eyes were half closed from the effects of the pulse. "This is not possible," Zakatharan said, his voice weaker than before. "One ship cannot defeat a fleet." Lisa stood straight despite her exhaustion. "As I told you, Admiral, you've never faced humans before." The alien studied her for a long moment. "What are you?" "We're survivors," Lisa replied simply. "Throughout our history, we've faced overwhelming odds and found ways to overcome them. Your mistake wasn't underestimating our technology, it was underestimating our determination." The Valari Admiral nodded slowly. "We withdraw from your system. The collective will want to reconsider its approach to your species." The communication ended. On the tactical display, the remaining Valari ships continued their retreat. Lisa looked around at her battered bridge and exhausted crew. Against impossible odds, they had won. "Send a message to Earth," she told Patricia. Tell them one ship was enough." The journey back to Earth took longer than the trip out. The Defiant limped through space with damaged engines and a weakened hull. The crew worked around the clock to make repairs. They had survived the impossible, but their ship was badly hurt. "Captain," Lisa Warren sat in her quarters recording her final mission log. Her uniform was torn and a bandage covered a cut on her forehead. "Day 12 since our encounter with the Valari fleet. We are approximately 18 hours from Earth. The Defiant has performed beyond all expectations, though at great cost. We've lost Engine 2 completely. Life support is operating at 60% efficiency, but we're alive, and we're coming home." She paused, looking at a photo of Earth on her desk. "The Valari have withdrawn from our solar system. Admiral Zakatharan's final message indicated they will reconsider their approach to humanity. I believe we've earned a place at the galactic table, not through overwhelming force, but through innovation and determination." A knock at her door interrupted her recording. Sam Evans entered, his engineer's uniform stained with oil and burn marks. "Captain, I've managed to boost Engine 1 to 40% power. We should reach Earth orbit by tomorrow morning." Lisa nodded. "Good work, Sam. How's the crew holding up?" "Tired but proud," Sam replied with a small smile. "Noah hasn't left the weapons room. He's studying the Valari technology we captured from the damaged scout. Says he has some ideas for improvements." "And Patricia?" "Still analyzing the data we collected on Valari neural patterns. She thinks we might be able to develop better non-lethal defenses based on what we learned." Lisa stood and stretched her sore muscles. "And Kate?" "Sleeping. Finally." She was at the navigation controls for 36 hours straight during our escape. Lisa walked with Sam to the bridge. The normally pristine space was now filled with exposed wiring and temporary repairs. Kate was indeed sleeping in her chair, a blanket draped over her shoulders. Noah and Patricia were huddled over a console, discussing something excitedly. They looked up when Lisa entered. "Captain," Noah called. "We might have something here. The Valari communication technology. It's far more advanced than we thought. If we can adapt it for our use, we could create a real-time translation system for any alien language." Patricia nodded eagerly. "And their medical technology could revolutionize our understanding of the nervous system. The data we collected could help treat conditions like Parkinson's disease." Lisa smiled at their enthusiasm. Even after nearly dying multiple times, her crew was still focused on what they could learn and how they could improve. "First, let's get home," she reminded them. "Then we can show the world what we've discovered." As they approached Earth the next day, the communication system crackled to life. Admiral Miller's voice came through, filled with emotion. "Defiant, this is Earth Command. We've been monitoring your approach. Is it true? Did you actually defeat the Valari fleet?" Lisa exchanged glances with her crew before responding. Earth Command, this is Captain Warren. We did not defeat them. We convinced them to reconsider. There was a pause before Admiral Miller responded. Whatever you call it, Captain, you've saved humanity. We're sending ships to escort you home. The world is waiting to meet the crew of the Defiant. As they entered Earth orbit, Lisa was surprised to see dozens of ships coming to meet them. Military, vessels, civilian ships, even private spacecraft, all had come to welcome the Defiant home. Look at that, Kate whispered, now awake and at her station. The whole world came to greet us. The main view screen showed live feeds from cities across Earth. People were gathered in streets and squares watching the Defiant's return on massive screens. They were cheering, crying, hugging each other. I didn't expect this, Noah said quietly. You should have, Lisa replied. You gave them something they haven't had in a long time. Hope. The Defiant docked at the space station, and the crew prepared to disembark. Before leaving, they gathered one last time on the bridge. I want to thank each of you, Lisa said, looking at her crew. What we accomplished shouldn't have been possible. One ship against 300. But you made it happen. It wasn't just technology, Patricia said. It was how we used it. The Valari had never encountered a species that approached problems the way we do. Sam nodded. They expected brute force because that's all they understand. They weren't prepared for creativity, or for a ship that could learn from each attack, Noah added. Kate smiled. Or for humans who refuse to give up even when the odds are impossible. When they finally stepped off the Defiant, they were met by Admiral Miller and the President. Behind them stood a crowd of officials, scientists, and journalists. Captain Warren, the President said, shaking her hand. On behalf of all humanity, thank you. Admiral Miller looked at the battered ship behind them. One ship. You took one ship against their entire fleet. I still can't believe it worked. It worked because they didn't understand us, Lisa explained. They expected us to think like them, to believe that only overwhelming force could win. They didn't understand that humans have always found ways to overcome superior numbers in technology. The debriefing lasted for days. Scientists and military officials wanted to know every detail of their encounter. The adaptive shield technology, the virus, the neural disruption pulse, all were studied extensively. 1 month after their return, Lisa and her crew stood on a stage before the United Nations. Representatives from every nation had gathered to honor them and to discuss humanity's new place in the galaxy. The Secretary General addressed the assembly. For the first time, humanity knows we are not alone in the universe. The Valari Collective has requested formal diplomatic relations. They have withdrawn their threats and now seek to understand us better. Lisa was asked to speak. She stepped to the podium and looked out at the representatives of Earth. The Valari expected a fleet, she said simply. They believed only overwhelming force could stand against them. What they found instead was human ingenuity. One ship with the right technology, the right strategy, and the right crew was enough to change their minds. She paused, looking at her crew seated behind her. Throughout human history, we have faced seemingly impossible challenges. Each time we have survived not because we were stronger or more numerous, but because we are adaptable. We learn. We innovate. We find unexpected solutions. As Lisa finished her speech, news arrived that a Valari diplomatic vessel had entered Earth orbit. The first official contact between humans and the Valari Collective was about to begin. Admiral Zektharan himself came to Earth as the Valari ambassador. When he met Lisa again, he bowed slightly in what Patricia recognized as a sign of respect. Captain Warren, the alien said, your single ship has changed the course of galactic history. The Collective has never encountered a species like yours before, Lisa smiled. And this is just the beginning, Admiral. Humans are full of surprises. As the diplomatic talks began, the crew of the Defiant watched from the sidelines. They had done what seemed impossible. One ship had stood against a fleet and changed the destiny of humanity forever. What happens now? Noah asked quietly. Lisa looked up at the stars, visible through the large windows of the United Nations building. Now, she said, we explore the galaxy together, not as conquerors like the Valari tried to be, but as innovators and problem solvers. That's the human way.